6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. Several districts in the island have been affected by the prevailing continuous rain. Heavy showers to continue and red alerts issued for 7 districts. Sri Lanka Army deploys 600 personnel for flood relief in the Matara district. Schools in the Matara district will remain closed until Tuesday. The Prime Minister says that we need to enact new rules instead of relying on old regulations to get out of the prevailing crisis. And in news overseas, in Israel, gunmen from Gaza kill at least 22 in a major attack. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the local news. Director Engineer of the Irrigation Department, SLBC Sugishwara, says that several districts in the island have been affected by the prevailing continuous rain. The water level of the Nilwala Ganga has increased to a considerable level. The probability of the flood situation in the Matara, Thiagoda, Kamburupitiya, Akurasa, Malimbada and Athurelia Division Secretariat divisions has also increased. He also pointed out that the severe flood threat can arise within the next 24 hours. The Department of Meteorology has warned that heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces. In an advisory for heavy rain released today, red alerts were issued for the Colombo, Gampaha, Kagala, Kaluthara, Ratnapura, Galle and Mahathara districts. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organization has issued several red, that's level 3, amber, that's level 2, and yellow, that's level 1, landslide alerts for several areas in the Colombo, Galle, Kaluthara, Mathara, Ratnapura, Gampaha, Hambantota, Kandy, and Kagala districts. Owing to the prevailing torrential rains and the inclement weather conditions, the schools in the Mathara districts, which are closed on the 5th and 6th of October, will remain closed until the 10th of October, the Disaster Management Committee reported. A total of 13,027 families, consisting of a total of 53,399 persons across 12 districts, have been left severely affected as a result of the extreme rain. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. Sri Lanka Army has deployed a contingent of 600 personnel for flood and disaster relief activities in the Matara district. Several roads in the Matara area have submerged underwater due to the flooding of the Nilwala River as a result of the continuous torrential rains, while red alert landslide warnings have also been issued by the National Building Research Organization for several areas in the Matara district. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that we need to enact new rules instead of relying on the old regulations to get out of the prevailing crisis. He expressed this view while addressing the Sankathana Mandapaya held at Temple Trees today to mark the World Cotton Day. Speaking on this occasion, the Prime Minister stated that World Cotton Day is a special day declared by the United Nations. It is declared as a special day because it is useful for the people of the world. We dedicate ourselves to make this day meaningful for the cotton industry. In every district all over the country, we encounter with thousands of acres of uncultivated lands belonging to the government. There is a possibility of using these lands for a useful purpose like cotton cultivation. We are all ready to extend our support and commitment in this regard. By expanding cotton cultivation through continuous national program, the income of the rural people can be increased and the foreign exchange of the country can be saved. I appreciate the attempts of the private sector for that. Farmers and entrepreneurs need confidence to engage in this kind of cultivation. It is necessary to cooperate with other universities and other research institutes to expand this industry. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. Several districts in the island have been affected by the prevailing continuous rain. Heavy showers to continue and red alerts issued for 7 districts. Sri Lanka Army deploys 600 personnel for flood relief in the Matara district. Schools in the Matara district will remain closed until Tuesday. The Prime Minister says that we need to enact new rules instead of relying on the old regulations to get out of the prevailing crisis. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The main news story for this evening, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, says that long-term solutions are needed to increase the income that is adequate to face the inflation. It should be understood that the decline of the inflation rate is not the decline of the prices of goods. When the economy is increasing gradually, the entire income of the country is increased. He said he believes that we will be able to face the inflation. He pointed out that the poverty level of the country has decreased by 25% during the past period. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
In Washington this evening, a new motor vehicle revenue license system, which eases the process of obtaining or renewing revenue license, is to come into effect from today, State Minister of Technology Kanaka Herath said. Speaking at a press conference held in Colombo, Minister Herath noted that this program will be implemented in all the provinces except for the Western Province. The new system will allow for new revenue licenses to be conveniently obtained online from one's own house. The State Minister further revealed that measures are underway to digitize the payment systems of all state institutions by the 31st of March 2024. That came to you in Watchlight, and now let's move on to the headlines of the world news. Israel, gunmen from Gaza kill at least 22 in a major attack. Trains and roads in Scotland affected by flooding amidst warning. Biden attack from both sides over new Texas border wall. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the world news. At least 22 people have been killed in Israel after a major surprise attack with militants crossing into Israel from Gaza during heavy rocket fire. There are unconfirmed reports that a number of Israelis have been taken captive back into Gaza. Israel has launched waves of airstrikes on targets in Gaza in response. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel is at war and has vowed that Hamas, Gaza's rulers, will pay a price it has never known. The militants crossed the perimeter fence just after dawn as barrages of rockets were launched from Gaza. Train services have been suspended in parts of Scotland after an amber weather alert for rain and floods. Cross-border train operators have also warned passengers not to attempt to travel to Scotland today. The Met Office said the areas of the Highlands and Central Scotland could see up to 180 millimeters of rain. ScotRail has cancelled services from Auburn, Millag and Fort William and from Central and the Highland mainland between Perth and Intervenes. The train company said most other lines would be disrupted. President Joe Biden is under fire from both Republicans and Democrats after his administration announced a new border wall construction in Texas. Mr. Biden has said he had no choice because the funding was signed off while Donald Trump was the president. Members of his Democratic Party said the walls did not work while rival Republicans accused him of hypocrisy. Some 20 miles of barriers will be built in a sparsely populated stretch of Rio Grande village. And that was the world news.
Development news.
In development news, Minister Manusha Nanayakara says that the income from the migrant workers has exceeded $480 million last month. The amount of migration remittances received from January to September this year is $4,350 million. It is a 69% increase when compared to last year. That was the development news, and now let's move on to sports news. The first match between South Africa and Sri Lanka of the ICC World Championship Tournament is being played in India. Sri Lanka won the toss and invited South Africa to bat first. Batting first, South Africa scored 316 runs for the loss of 3 wickets at the end of their 41st over a short while ago. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට
all-new NSB Ithuru Mithuru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Joining the world to celebrate Customer Service Week 2023 commenced from the 2nd to the 6th of this month. SLT Mobitel has unveiled a host of exciting offers and great savings in appreciation of the customers while encouraging new customers to experience the power of the network. The host of offers and digital benefits are designed to delight both the new and the existing users of home and mobile phone connections who can experience enhanced connectivity. That is the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyameta set wenna as wahagena dagapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all-new NSB Ithuru Mithuru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, the Commercial Bank of Ceylon has won 2 top awards at the 2023 Payment Partner Performance Awards of Daras, South Asia's largest e-commerce platform. Sri Lanka's largest private sector bank has been adjudged the best engaging overall card base for the 4th consecutive year, and it has also been recognized as the best debit card base of these awards, presented recently at the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo. Commercial Bank was the only bank to win 2 awards. That is economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Weather report.
And finally, the weather report. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern and northwestern provinces. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere during the evening or night. And before we conclude this bulletin, let's get back to the headlines once again. Several districts in the island have been affected by the prevailing continuous rain. Heavy showers to continue and red alerts issued for 7 districts. Sri Lanka Army deploys 600 personnel for flood relief in the Mathara district. Schools in the Mathara district will remain closed until Tuesday. The Prime Minister says that we need to enact new rules instead of relying on the old regulations to get out of the prevailing crisis. And finally, in news overseas, Israel gunmen from Gaza kill at least 22 in a major attack. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And now it's back to your regular Saturday evening host, my good friend Shantima, to keep you entertained until the curtains come down.